Hi, it's Rich from Dark Fable Media. I'm here with Marc Zammit, the director of Homeless Ashes, Witch and Jitters.
Woohoo! My name's Marc Zammit.
I'm the director of Witch.
I'm the director of Witch. So, how did you feel using the new Aputure Lights?
So these are the Infinity Bars. I think they're awesome as far as, I'm sure you're aware of seeing how we've been utilising them on set of Jitters. They're just really convenient to be able to just throw up anywhere, especially just with the magnetics on the back, and you just attach them to any metal. We've got them set up around here as well to light today. So I've just put a couple of pins in the ceiling and just stick them up. You've got so much control through the Jitters app, so you've got control wirelessly, link them all the same, have different effects. We often use the fire setting, don't we, for
I don't think I've seen you pull out any other lights since you've had these.
No.
I just see Richard walking around the set with the bars just like. Bloop.
I said to you earlier, wasn't I? They just have taken over most of my practicals.
Yeah, sure.
The only thing I've used other than these is potentially just the Nova, just to get that extra brightness, because these don't go quite as high as them.
I remember, I think for me, the best scenes from using this on Jitters so far, because we're planning to use these on more films, but I think the best scene for me was when we done that scene in that derelict house, and I kind of disappeared with my actors for a little bit, doing a bit of rehearsals upstairs and outside with the makeup, and I come back and then I felt like I was in a complete different world. There's all these flickering white lights going off, but you set it up and it was just amazing, mind blowing. Because I remember when Richard was telling me that he wanted to use these lights, and he's like, look, there's these Aputure long infinity bars, and when he put them up, when he got them and I saw the size of them, I was like, holy crap, how are we going to use this? And then the first time we used them was in the studio. Was it in the studio for the fire lightning effect?
Yeah, so funny enough, these aren't rated for water, and then the first time we ended up using them was in the
water,
rain scene in the water.
Exactly.
We did keep them out. It doesn't look like that in the behind the scenes footage, but they're actually outside of the rain and outside of the water, and we used it as lightning.
Creating that lightning effect. And what was quite nice, I think, because they were so long as well, and obviously we kind of set them up in a way, I think what you ended up getting was this nice effect of the strikes just hitting the whole room, rather than like a spot just hitting it. It was like you felt like there were strikes coming from the front, the left, and the right, what kind of made it very effective. And I can't wait to see what that actually looks like on the edit.
Watching other people using the Infinity Bars, I've seen a lot of people on music videos or things where they've got them in shot, and you've got these funky lights in the background, these bars going crazy, and they look amazing, and you can build them into these really cool shapes that just could be really visually striking, but they're also really useful as practicals on set, or things to be able to have outside the shot to because of how wide they are, they kind of almost act like keynotes where you can wrap the light around so you get in the back and all the way around the front to get a really soft light. So they're really good for soft practicals on set.
I could even just think visually, if you was to use those lights down a hallway, and you could have it looking like they're actually part of the building, and then you can create that kind of other light to have that flickering effect, which is just great, because then obviously sometimes when you use normal lights in buildings for filming, sometimes they don't have obviously you can take the exposure down as much as you like with the lights. You can change the color to what the color palette is. And I think that's one thing I'm what I'm looking forward to exploring with this. And we did this actually recently on the fire scene, where you used, because when I saw you do the edit as well, Rich, because Richard's also editing Jitters, it's quite nice. You had this nice effect on Anto, who's playing Detective Harding, and you had this nice kind of orange glow and red glow on his face, but then on the reflection of the car, you see these red things, and it looks like it's part of the streets, which was great. And I think they're fun. I think they're fantastic.
Well, that's another thing we utilised in that scene was that we had a man on fire, and obviously it's very expensive to do a stunt like that, so we couldn't just utilise that. We had all the cameras on that person on fire, because you don't want to burn that money wasting someone's reaction or something like that.
For sure.
So in order to do Anto's reaction, and getting a fire, we actually had one of these just underneath his face, kind of on a fire setting, to kind of emulate the fire that was there when we were filming it with the guy on fire. And it's really, really good for that type of thing.
How easy do you find they are to use on the apps as well?
I think the app is great,
because I thought that was very practical. Like when I saw Rich, because obviously me as a director producer on films, you know, I'm always looking at Richard like the wizard. I just see him doing it on the app, and it was so easy for you to just monitor what light was what and how you structured it and how you mounted those on very quickly. I think that's one thing I like about the Aputure Lights and the Infinity Bars as well, is that they're very quick and easy to set up. So if you have charged them, you haven't got to quite kind of link them all up and wire them all up, and you're using for me as a director and producer, which is very important, is you're not using wasted time. So if you do need to get those quick shots, it's like, okay, quick, let's put the Aputure Lights back up and things like that. Turn on, done, on the app, done. Where before, you know, you would have to plug a lot of stuff in, and, you know, that's all time.
Yeah, and that's a really interesting point, actually. Like, they're great when you can plug them in and have, like, so it comes in a pack of 8 if you get the big one. You can use them all, obviously wired up. But the good thing about having 8 is you can have 4 on set on a battery, say you're in the woods or something like that. And then you can just hot swap them out. So, like, when one runs out, you use the other 4 to replace, and you put them onto charge. So you can have like a 4 rotation or 8 powered, which is really cool.
I think that's what's going to be very practical about the Aputure. What's very practical about most of the Aputure Lights, and obviously the Infinity Bars, is you would think doing a forest shoot or something like that is going to be very easy and simple. Outdoor shoots are very easy and simple. But if you have no form of electricity or any access to electricity, it can be very difficult. So the fact that you have the Infinity Bars, and they do last quite long. I don't think I saw. I think we used them for about 8 hours on that video shoot in the studio.
They were plugged in.
Oh, they were plugged in. We had access to electricity.
They got 2 hours on them, which is pretty good for like portable.
Okay, still 2 hours is good, considering you've got 8. So, you know, and I think that was great. And I think I'm excited to potentially use them on some of the next films, like your film and Last Resort. We're going to be filming that in like a beach. So using that effect and seeing how we can use that and how that lights up. So
interesting.
Infinity Bars.
So we've had a long relationship with Aputure. We all love using their lights, and Mark came up with the great idea of on Jitters to use a B7C bulb for Jitters' actual costume that actually works as a practical on like how. Like when he gets angry, it goes red, and when he's like happy, it's green. And it's like it's really cool to have it.
It's a shame we haven't got one here to show as well. I think it's at my studio. So, but yeah, I had the idea exactly what Rich was saying, was like any time that I wanted to kind of create the thing with the traffic light. So it's a situation where people can relate jitters to a day-to-day life. You know, red is bad and green is good, or red is stop and green is go. So it's like every time you was playing with jitters, I like the fact of he's like this crazy clown just had a bulb on his head, and it would do different effects, like the lightning effect that we did. Spoilers. And like going red and going green, and it was so awesome just when we filmed that in the studio. And I was thinking, how am I going to do this? Straight away, I was like, I remembered the Aputure Lights, the B7C, and I was like, okay, let's play around with it. And just playing with it on film set, I remember me and Richard just standing there ready, like when it was like anytime like Daniel Jordan, who was the character playing Jitters, was angry, was like red, like changing it to green, and it happened automatically, and it's just great. And we made that so practical to the costume, and it looks, you can't even tell that it's the Aputure light, but
it was all painted in to match the helmet thing that he wears.
Yeah, so we kind of dismounted a little bit of the Aputure light, but it looks great for the costume. And the fact that we live in this world now with technology such as Aputure Lights, especially with the bulbs, that you could actually do something like actually use that as a prop on a costume, is like, yeah, it's great. I think it's so fun. And yeah, I think that's the first time I've probably seen, like in my experience, someone use a professional light company on an actual like a costume. Yeah, I'd like to say, yeah. So
interesting.
Yeah, next thing you see like Terrifier with like a big infinity bar running down. But yeah, that's cool, man.
But yeah, we massively appreciate Aputure's always helping us out with those things, and hopefully it's continue to work together for future films. And
I'm excited to see what they come with next.
Yeah, they're coming up. You've seen like they've got this like inflatable mattress that lights up.
What?
And it's like the size of this room, and it just hangs from the ceiling to light the whole room. And yeah,
so that's kind of great. So you could create like,
it's called the Infinity Mat, I think.
So you could actually have like, if it's nighttime, you can create daytime in the house, or like sun outside.
Well,
or...
it just lights a whole big area, really soft light. It's amazing.
No way.
Yeah.
We have to try that out.
Yeah.
So now you come with a
Send us some of that.
You get a big box of infinity bars. Now you're gonna have a blooming mattress.
Yeah.
And that,
just sleeping on it.
It's just glowing red like that. Actually, there you go, the new prop.
Yeah.
Imagine that though. You could actually
Jitters'
have that
bed.
Yeah, like you could have a bed like it's going red. It's on fire. Don't need a fireman now. But no, you could probably use that as a practical prop, right? If it's like, it's in my head. This is a typical director producer, but I'm like, it's like I could imagine. Depending what it's like, but you could even create like these different kind of, like you done with the infinity bars, you create those shapes. Imagine you had that and you had something where like just the room is just changing, that glow. That would be I think that will add to a lot of sci-fi films.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
I get writing. I've never done a sci-fi.
Yeah. There you are. Next time you can buy me a new bed, and it's just just trying to sleep, and I'm like having a rave.
Where's Richard? Is that? I love it. No, but thank you, Aputure, for the infinity bars on Jitters, and honestly, it's making such a difference to the production value of the lighting on the film. You will see obviously how visually stunning it looks, and we will add some clips in this. I don't even need to set it up. As you can see here, how amazing it looks. It's great. So thank you.
Yeah, that's probably it.
Yeah.